had a cold. He had a hoarse voice. You all heard it.
Is that it wasn't just that he had a cold, but rather he had, answers. He was trailing off. He didn't answer some question. So I guess I wonder if there's been any consideration given to releasing a more robust set of medical records.
We have been transparent. We have released thorough reports from his medical team. We understand it was a bad night. It is not uncommon for incumbents to have a bad night on their first debate.
Did the president get examined by a doctor, or did he get a neurological scan?
A neurological scan? Look, what I can say is that, just to take a step back, it was a bad night. We understand that it was a bad night.
Okay, well, you continue to say it was just a bad night, but is there an explanation then for why it was so bad? If it's not his stamina, if he prepared, as you guys say, for so long, if it's not a problem with his mental fitness, what happened that night? What did we see?
I will also add that the president also spoke to this as well. He said, I'm not as smooth as I used to be. I don't debate as well as I used to. I don't walk as easily as I used to.
Is anyone in the White House hiding information about the president's health or his ability to do the job day to day?
Absolutely not.
If this is an episode or is this is a condition, which one is it?
Well, what I can tell you is that he had a cold and a bad night. I would see this as what it was and what we believe it to be, which is it was a bad night. And he did, on top of that, he had a cold. And I think also the president saying, I am not a young man. I'm not as a smooth talker as I used to be. I believe this was in this instance, it was a bad night.
Dr. O'Connor, in that memo, described the president as, quote, a healthy, active, robust 81-year-old male who remains fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency. I think that is clearly not what the majority of Americans are seeing.
We get it. We do. We get it. We get what Americans are feeling. That's why he's acknowledging he's not a young man. That's why he's acknowledging he's a little slower than he used to be in walking and not as smooth as speaking. We get that, many of you. No, let me just finish.
The administration strongly criticized the media for clips showing the president appearing to be confused, freezing at times, and you called it cheap fakes, misinformation, disinformation. In one case even implied that it was the product of artificial intelligence, calling it deep fakes. Do you have any regret over using that language?
Not at all. Not at all.
It's been, the reason I ask is the administration's response to our questions often seems to be, don't believe your lying eyes. The border is secure. Afghanistan withdrawal was a success. Inflation is transitory. So is that going to change?
I mean, you just laid out, Jackie, you just got a bunch of things, so just give me a second here. I think it's a give and take. This is what makes what we do in this room almost every day. This is an exercise of democracy. This is an exercise of freedom of the press. That's what we're doing here. And I think if there's some reporting that we don't believe to be true, I think it's okay if we go back and forth and say, actually, we don't think that reporting is true, right? And so I don't see anything wrong with that.
50 million plus Americans saw the debate last Thursday. They get a very different story from you. You just described a very different sounding president. Obviously, other administration officials described him very differently than what people saw. How do you reconcile those two versions?
It was a bad night. That's what we believe it to be. We're not taking away what people saw. We're just not. That is, want to be very clear about that. You heard the hoarse voice. We were able to confirm he had a cold. He was under the weather, obviously. Look, we all have bad nights. I just said there have been incumbents, most incumbents, for their first debate. It doesn't go well. Anything else? I think I've litigated this a lot already in this briefing room. I just don't have anything else to add.
How are Americans supposed to get the sense that the president is fully engaged and capable and thinking off the cuff when he's reading from prepared remarks so often? And why can't he just come down here? The briefing room's 30 seconds away. Why can't he come down here and assure us and the American people that he's okay? All of us saw what happened on Thursday, where he simply could not form coherent answers to many, or some, if you will, of the questions, and appeared to lapse into nonsensical answers at the end. We beat Medicare, for instance. I'm going to ask something delicate, and you may not like it. The president may not like to hear it if he's watching, but I think the American people need to get a yes or no answer on this. Does President Biden, at 81 years old, have Alzheimer's, any form of dementia, or degenerative illness that would cause these sorts of lapses? And it's a yes or no question. And if you don't know, why don't you, as one of his senior staff members, know the
I
yes
have
or
an
no
answer
answer?
for you. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
It's a no. And I hope you're asking the other guy the same exact question. Okay, right.
You know, if these are the questions you're getting now, what are the questions you're going to be getting in 2 years or 3 years?
I have thoughts about 2 years, 3 years from now. But, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, thanks, everybody.
By sources in the room right now with Tony Bobulinski that he's testified under oath that he did, of course, meet with Joe Biden back in 2017 in Los Angeles on the sidelines of that Milken conference. And it wasn't just a quick meeting. Apparently, Bobulinski testified that he met with Joe Biden for 45 minutes to an hour back in May 2017. So that's happening right now. Also, a source told me that Bobulinski has, in fact, confirmed under oath that Joe Biden is the big guy, or he was the big guy in those emails that, of course, have been floating around for years.
Teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
Their Facebook. Definitely follow Kingdom Radio TX, hashtag Kingdom Radio TX, or follow the Rock and Roll Rebel Show. I'll put this stuff up here in just a second. Definitely follow the Rock and Roll Rebel Show.
Is that Mitt Romney? Yeah. He's like, I'm so rich.
Yeah, he's not running again, right?
No, I think he's not running because I think he knows how Utah's finally going to wake up. Those Mormons out there are finally going to realize that Mitt Romney's a joke.
And follow the Rock and Roll Rebel on Twitter.
There's Merrick Garland, Mayorkas. Is that Austin? Lloyd Austin right there?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all
We
there.
have a star-studded lineup here.
Yeah, the Supreme Court justices are all there, right? All 9 of them will be there.
Trump still ain't saying nothing on Truth Social. I'm monitoring that. He hasn't said anything yet.
Well, I think Trump's coming out after it, and same with Tucker.
Well, I thought they were going to be giving some kind of a live as it was going.
No, I believe Tucker Carlson is after. He's going to come up after.
Okay.
And then they'll have who's doing the Republican rebuttal? Anybody know? You know, they always have the Republican come out.
I seen that on CBS and NBC. They all have State of the Union address and then with Republican response afterwards. So nice. I don't know if they're going to, I doubt they're going to put Tucker Carlson in there, but I think most of the world will be watching Tucker Carlson and then looking at Truth Social to see what Trump has to say about it.
President Biden's family is encouraging the president to stay in the 2024 race, defying calls for him to step aside following his alarming performance on Thursday's debate. The family is meeting at Camp David tonight. This is part of a planned gathering that was scheduled before the debate, we're told. And the message out of that meeting, at least for now, appears to be support for the president to continue pursuing a second presidential term. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joins us now in Washington. Priscilla, what's your latest reporting at this hour?
Well, the president is huddling with his family following the immediate fallout of his debate performance on Thursday night, and Biden advisors are telling CNN that his family is encouraging him to stay in the race and supporting him and expressing that support, including Hunter Biden and the president's grandchildren. These advisors also saying that the conversations have been focused on how the family can help the president and not whether he should reconsider his candidacy. Of course, all of these conversations follow what has transpired since Thursday night's debate, as there have been calls for the president to withdraw from the race, including in editorial boards, as well as all corners of the Democratic Party. Now, the president himself has also been collecting data anecdotally and through public polling as he too tries to assess what folks are feeling across the party. And that has been a deep concern. Panic has certainly set in. Donors have been racked with anxiety over the president's poor performance on Thursday night. Now, the president, of course, did participate in a fundraising blitz over the weekend where he too conceded that Thursday night was not his best debate performance, but said that he would continue to fight and that he wanted to stay in the race. But the president and his campaign are certainly, Allison, under great scrutiny tonight. And what we know so far from the huddle that he had with his family at Camp David today is that he has the support of his family and their encouragement. Of course, that is no small thing. These are key players in President Biden's orbit and have been crucial in a lot of his decision-making when it comes to running for president.
Priscilla, thank you very much for all of that reporting. We're joined now by CNN senior data reporter Harry Enton. He was here to run the numbers. So, Harry, do we have new poll numbers for President Biden post-debate?
We do. You know, CBS News YouGov conducted some polling post-debate. We can compare it to the pre-debate numbers. And the bottom line, Alice, it's not any good. It's not any good. Look at this. Voters who say that Biden has the mental health to be president. It was just 35% pre-debate. Look where it's dropped to now post-debate, 27%. How about that he should be running for president? It was 37% pre-debate. It's now 28%. I have never seen numbers this bad for an incumbent president during my lifetime. I mean, that mental health to be president, just 27%. You might say, okay, you know, that's low, but a lot of people thought Biden was too old back in 2020. These numbers look nothing like this back in 2020. These numbers were bad already. And the truth is, Allison, they have gotten just considerably worse, even in just a few days after that first presidential debate.
Harry, do we have polling yet that suggests that voters want a different candidate?
Yeah, this is the whole question, right? If it's not President Biden, then who could it be on the Democratic side? And the truth is, there are no easy answers. You know, I went back and looked at the polling versus Donald Trump for a bunch of different Democrats have been suggested. Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris. Look at this. They all trail Donald Trump. So the idea here that we're somehow going to get this magic bullet, that there's somehow going to be some Democrat who can beat Donald Trump easily, I just don't see it in the numbers. At this particular point, if Joe Biden takes on Donald Trump, he's trailing. If there's another Democrat who runs against Donald Trump, they too are trailing. Perhaps you want to make the argument you bring in another Democrat who isn't as well known as Joe Biden, who has universal name recognition, and maybe they could change the numbers. But the fact is, any Democrat who entered the race right now, at least among those that are being suggested by a bunch of folks, they would all enter the race at this particular point as an underdog to former President Donald Trump.
But Harry, are those numbers old numbers or are those since the debate? I mean, maybe the conversation has changed.
Yeah, those are not numbers that have been taken since the debate, though I was looking at numbers that were post-debate. This takes into account an average, a long-term average, right? Because the key is I don't just want to rely upon one polling number. But even the limited polling data that we have post-debate suggests that none of those candidates on your screen, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, or Kamala Harris, any of those would be favored over Donald Trump. He leads against all of them, whether you look at the pre-debate numbers or the post-debate numbers. And of course, I like to look at an aggregate of numbers, so that's what I did. But the fact is, even if you just did post-debate, it really wouldn't look any different.
Do you have any precedent for how lopsided Thursday's debate was?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take one solace, if you are Joe Biden, the fact is, first debate winner margins. Look, Donald Trump, more people by a 34-point margin said that Donald Trump beat Joe Biden in the debate. That's not much different than what Joe Biden's margin was over Donald Trump 4 years ago. It's actually larger than the Hillary Clinton margin that she had over Donald Trump. But you may remember that first debate back in 2012 where Barack Obama just did horribly. Mitt Romney won that debate in the voters' minds by 42 points. But of course, he didn't become president. Barack Obama was reelected. So I guess if you want to take a look on the one bright note, is there is a history of someone losing the first debate as an incumbent and going on to win the presidency, and that was 12 years ago.
Okay, so you're saying that somebody, I mean, you
opportunities that our families need to thrive, the freedom to control our lives and our bodies, the freedom to love who we love and to choose when and how to have a family, and the freedom to live without fear of violence and discrimination. Yesterday, I celebrated our rights and our freedoms. But today, I have to be honest with you, I'm afraid. The specter of dictatorship looms over America. Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans are actively trying to take away our rights. Our right to equal opportunity and access to economic success. Our right to access information and to read books that they disagree with. They want to take that away. Our right to access medical care, whether that's abortion or IVF or even birth control. And our right to control our own bodies. They're already trying to take that away from us. Fight back. Our right to be who we are and to love who we love. They're trying to take that away. Yes. Our right to vote, we know about this in Wisconsin. They're trying to take away our rights to vote easily and safely. Thank you to the state Supreme Court for giving us back drop boxes. Our right to vote, elections have consequences, folks. Our right to vote and to have a government that is accountable to we, the people. These MAGA Republicans, they want to take away our rights. But do you know what? We won't let them. We will fight back. We will organize. And we will vote. We will vote for leaders who believe in us, who have invested in our community, and who believe in more freedom, not less, in more rights, not fewer. That's what I'm fighting for. I know that that's what you're fighting for. And that is what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are fighting for. We cannot let fear and hate win. I'm voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Tammy Baldwin. I'm voting them because it's a vote for my rights. It's a vote for my family. It's a vote for Madison. It's a vote for Wisconsin. And it's a vote for the United States of America. I'm voting for President Biden because I want Independence Day on July 4th, 2025, to be a day that is worth celebrating. So Madison, I ask you, are you going to join me? Are you going to vote? All right, let's finish the job. Thank you, Madison.
King, a demagogue who, if elected, will implement the far right's Project 2025, a far-reaching, right-wing, authoritarian fever dream that will take away our freedoms, challenge our foundational democracy, and negatively affect our country for a long time. And on the other side stand the Democrats. Democrats in the U.S. Senate and in the House and in our state legislatures. Great governors across the country, including Governor Tony Evers right here in Wisconsin. And of course, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris in the White House. Look, we want to put people over politics. We want to help people achieve their full potential and provide opportunities for every family, not just a select few. We stand for freedom, the freedom to love who you love, the freedom to make decisions about your own bodies, the freedom to equally enjoy what this country can offer, no exceptions. And the best part, we're already doing it. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are delivering for the American people. Look, we got this nation out of COVID. We're invested in jobs and infrastructure, and we're doing everything we can to reduce the inflated cost of living coming out of COVID, including investing in cleaner, cheaper types of energy and taking on big pharma by forcing them to negotiate for lower drug prices. Look, Joe Biden gets it done. Donald Trump gets felonies. Now, I have to say, it's going to come down to a few states, and Wisconsin is one of those states. And don't think for a second that this is going to be easy. Just in the last week, some say the snow globe of the election has been shaken. But you know what hasn't been shaken? The resolve of the people. The resolve to have leaders that are bound by law. The resolve to live their lives with freedom and without freedom from ideological big brother. And the resolve to move this nation forward and live up to our founders' promises. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris know a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to our shared values. This won't be a nation of rich versus poor or right-wing versus everyone else. This will be a nation of liberty and justice for all. But it's really going to be up to us, Are you ready to do all you can to make sure that this country survives a great attack from a corrupt demagogue and a right wing that wants to fundamentally change our nation? And are we going to fight for our values against theirs? Our values of freedom, fairness, and inclusion over cynicism, hatred, and division? And are we going to work hard every day until the election to let our friends and families know who's on their side and who's not? You bet. Democrats move us forward, and we are moving straight ahead. Thank you.
Can't nothing bring me down. Your love is too high to bring me down. Can't nothing bring me down.
What's going on, fellas?
Good afternoon there, K-Dog.
Just looking forward to a little Joe Biden. You hear me, little Joe Biden? What are we thinking for Joe Biden?
Oh, Lord. Have you seen the latest clip?
Which
Have you
one?
seen the latest clip without a teleprompter?
I tell you what I have seen. I've seen the new apparel from Kingdom. The new Kingdom apparel. Check this out.
Are we? We're echoing.
It's are you still hearing an echo? Maybe you have X open.
I got it.
Yeah. I got the
oh, cool.
What do we got here? We got the upside down flag.
Cool deal.
We got what else we have? Convicted felon 2024.
I'm gonna need that upside down flag.
Yeah, I got one more. Hold on, give me a second. And then I got an actual flag. Here it is. Let me see. I got it upside down. Shit. Let me take this out.
I like it.
I like that.
Can anybody hear me? Test, test. 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, we got you there, Ron.
Sweet.
What do you think about that one?
I like that one.
I think you need to stay in your own
Oh,
lane.
I would find that.
Huh?
I think you need to stay in your own lane.
Me?
I really liked the flag. That was pretty cool. I didn't get to see the other two though because I was in the middle of typing some DMs out. What were
Yeah, the upside down shirt.
Yeah,
the upside down flag, and
the
then
right upside.
The other one was the convicted felon 2024.
Oh yeah, those both sound cool.
Yeah, it's actually I got it from Father's Day. It just came in today, unfortunately, but it came in from the Hodge twins. So shout out to the Hodge twins.
I do have some of their merch here at the house. I follow those guys pretty regularly. Although as of late, they've gotten a little more anticky on their station. But I do have some of their merch. I'm also a big Colleen Noir fan too.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, what do you mean stay in my lane? Talking about 2A?
No, just messing with you.
No, I don't have a lane, dude. What are you talking about?
You do have a lane, and it's lined with Christmas lights and glitzers.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Well, today we're all about Joe Biden. You know, today is all about Joe Biden. We're all a big fan of Joe Biden, our current president. You know, anybody who's a patriot and loves their country, you support your president no matter who they are. But he sure does make it difficult. I will say that.
Maybe we can get a hold of Trump when he gets elected and have him, do some work with Kingdom Lights and get the lighthouse all lit up with you guys.
Oh, the lighthouse or the White House?
Either one. I'm fine with both.
Rename the White House to the Lighthouse.
We could.
Yeah. Well, Trump, his plane is almost as nice as it's more luxurious than, Air Force One, and Mar-a-Lago is nicer probably than the White House. I mean, so Trump really doesn't need all of those things. That's why he spends a lot of his time, doing, at his own places. But I guess for Trump, we need Trump. And does Trump really need to run for president? I think after all this legal stuff, do you think they would, if he would have dropped out, they would have continued pushing for all these charges for him?
Probably not.
I think they would have had to.
Once you start the wheel, he has to run for president to fix his name.
If he wasn't running for president, if he would have just walked away after the first election and that would have been it, none of this would have happened. There would have been no charges. There would have been no nothing. None of that would have happened. This is strictly to get him out of the election, to cost him as much money as possible. This is a statement of don't do this again. And it's backfiring tremendously.
Yeah. Well, with Trump, and you're saying, well, he's a felon and he's a this and he's a bad person and nobody's going to vote for him once they hear that he's cussing. And did you hear the way he talked about women? Just grab them in the no. And there's just no way that any reasonable person will vote for him. And it's all backfiring in their face. I think today's culture, if you're okay with trans, my buddy John over here, he's okay with trans and pronouns and stuff. People also are open to cuss words. And, a president like Trump, who's a little edgy, who will say some things like locker room talk. I think America's numb to it and they really don't care. I don't think it's you have to be prim and proper and you have to be beyond reproach, because who is?
Well, did you see the latest video with him on the quote unquote leaked video? I don't know how much I believe.
Oh, on the golf cart?
On the golf cart. I don't know how much I believe that's leaked, but either way.
Yeah, well, I mean,
do the Democrats not think that's the way the rest of America talks on a daily basis?
Yeah, he was just like, Kamala Harris is a fucking joke. I mean, it's what he said. And they're like, oh, he just said that about Kamala. He used the F word. It's like, come on, man. Isn't that how everyone talks? Well, and it's not like he was lying. It's the truth. She is a joke. There's no way she's going to be the president.
Well, according to some current White House staff members, Biden, he goes around effing this, F you, and all
everyone does. Everyone does. But Biden doesn't speak live. You never hear him live. And when you do, it's just it's travesty of all the crazy things he says. Even when he's talking off a teleprompter, it's horrible.
Here's the latest video I was telling you about.
Thank you. One last thing. I used to think, Senator, there were always congestion on the highways. There's no congestion anymore. None. We go on the highway, there's no congestion. And so the way they get me to stop talking, they'll say, we just shut down all the roads, Mr. President. You're going to lose all the votes if you don't get in. But anyway, I'll be back out. Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Check out John. John is now a co-host on the StreamYard account. He can just add videos and jump in there. It's like he knows what the hell he's doing.
No, John's pretty much a badass.
I know. That's what I was getting at. What you up to today, James?
Oh, not much. Just killing time, waiting for work.
Yeah. What time is all that's kickoff? Tonight?
Well, yeah, about 8 hours from now.
Did you watch fireworks last night?
Nah, the town I live in has shitty ass fireworks. I could hear them from where I'm at, but it's nothing worth watching.
Yeah, we went down to the lake. Yeah, we went down to the lake and watched the fireworks. It was okay. What's this crap? Hold on. I have the Trump golf cart. It wasn't that great, man. I mean, not the Trump golf cart. The fireworks weren't that great. I'd rather just watch it on TV. But here's the Trump golf cart part.
How did they do with the debate the other night?
Amazing.
That old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, He's quitting the race. Is that right? Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic. It's so amazing. It's just so fucking bad. So, just can't imagine. But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, a very tough guy. And they see them, they probably can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting.
Good.
Okay?
Yeah, that's amazing.
You just keep knocking him out, right?
That's it.
So, Big Ron, are you golfing? Are you a golfer? Big Ron? James? John? Anybody a golfer?
No, I've played.
No, that's cool.
I can't play, but I like playing.
Yeah, I used to play 2 times a week, every single week. But can you imagine what it's like to be in the golf cart with Trump?
That was Byron, wasn't it?
Oh, well, I just meant just going with
Oh,
Trump
yeah.
golfing. You just, but yeah, that's his son or his grandson or who is
No,
that?
That's Byron.
Yeah,
His
son.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
bad for him. That boy.
What?
He's going through some stuff.
Yeah, what kind of stuff?
Oh, he was there when they raided Mar-a-Lago and.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're in politics, you're dragging your family through a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you put your family in that microscope, you're putting your family through it, and sometimes your family's putting you through it, like we're seeing with Hunter Biden and Joe. I mean, Hunter Biden, did you see that he's at the White House all the time now?
I was getting ready to say, I don't know what's up with that. And I mean, they bring up some good questions a while ago, like what all is he being privy to? I mean,
Well, you're former law enforcement. You know what it's like to deal with people doing and saying whatever they can that's maybe addicted to drugs or something, that's trying to get out of something. I mean, it's like a child like wanting a piece of candy in the grocery store in the aisle. Come on, give me this, give me this. Come on, give me this. Come on, let me get a candy bar. Like, no. Come on, give me this. Come on, please. It's like he just got convicted of a felony, and his father can make it go away. So he's glued to him 24/7, especially if this is his last 3 months in office. He's glued to his dad 24/7. Like, well, if you do some chores, I'll buy you that kind of shit. I think he's just pandering, trying to get dad to forgive him before he gets out of office. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I'd like to know what's going on with the conversations that's going on behind closed doors. But, with being a convicted felon, I don't know, but I would suspect that you cannot even enter the White House or go on the White House property. So I'm like,
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Well, but
you can be a president and be a convicted felon.
Well, I know, but he's not the president, though. Is my point.
Yeah.
President's son. I mean, that's just to me, that's just
It's a bad look. I would say that it's a bad look.
Most definitely.
Definitely a bad look.
Biden said, no, I'm not going to pardon him. But yeah, Hunter's probably sucking up.
100%. I mean, we've seen that wasn't this 4th of July, but his last 4th of July where he had the Hunter clearly just did a couple key bumps or something like that, and he was sitting there jawing. We all know you're familiar with what someone on cocaine or crack looks like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was sitting there jawing and stuff at the White House, and then they found like 2 bags. They found a bag of cocaine one time, then they found another bag of cocaine at the White House, and then you're seeing like, come on, dude, let's connect the dots here. You done turned the White House into back. I was under the impression the White House was respectable and it was one of the most honorable places in the whole entire world to be at the White House, but they turned it into a fucking joke.
Oh, it is, yeah.
And the military. No offense to Big Ron with this Navy stuff, but the recruiter's office, their recruiting video is like, come get a sex change. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Where's that noise coming from?
I don't know. I mean, we're already in a bad spot. I just don't know how much worse it can
Looks
get.
like Joe's coming to the stage. Is that what we got here? Let me look at it.
Hello, Wisconsin. Everybody's fired up. Everybody's fired up. It's great to be here to welcome President Joe Biden back to Wisconsin. Recently I was in Milwaukee. Milwaukee, did you hear that? talking to a crowd of fired up Democrats at their convention, and today I'm going to tell about stuff that I'm going to talk about today too. If I had to sum up the last several years, it would go something like this. It's simple. Democrats are getting shit done and delivering for Wisconsin. Now, folks, I've been governor under both Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and let me tell you, the choice this November is absolutely clear. There's only one president who's consistently delivered for Wisconsin, and his name is Joe Biden.
Hell yeah, Joe Biden. He's the best. Absolutely.
You know, take this week, just this week as an example. On Tuesday, the Biden-Harris administration announced Wisconsin was officially selected as a U.S. regional tech hub. Now, this is a huge deal and something I've worked with Senator Tammy Baldwin over the last few years with her. And this is a $50 million project that will position Wisconsin to be a national leader, cutting-edge industries, and creates thousands of new jobs and billions, that's that billion with a B, worth of economic development in Wisconsin. That deserves a holy mackerel. And you may remember another thing here. My predecessor, it's been...
Hey, John, I wonder how they got 100 people to show up for this. You think they're hecklers and just reporters is all it is, or they paid people to be there?
I would not be surprised they just did grab people off the street.
You pay them to be there and cheer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's live studio audience.
$0.77 billion. And not only that, but thanks to the help of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, I announced Microsoft is investing a $3.3 billion investment to develop a state-of-the-art data system in Mount Pleasant.
I wonder what Joe Biden, why he's thanking him for Microsoft. Was he have ownership in Microsoft?
Expected to bring thousands of union construction jobs
He's
by the end of this year, but
have stock in it.
Wisconsin on the map.
Oh, 10% for the big guy, right?
That's
right.
Manufacturing, and that is a major holy mackerel. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are helping us get it. So get this. The Biden-Harris administration is helping us with the necessary investments to replace the Blatnick Bridge between Duluth and Superior. And that bridge serves hundreds of thousands of trucks and transports billions of dollars of goods between those two states. Yes, absolutely. And get this, over 410,000 households.
You know, it's interesting. You can hear each and every single person inside the audience. If someone goes, let's build it or let's do this, there's only like 100 people, so you can hear each and every person in the audience.
Due to the investments I directed under the Biden-Harris American Rescue Plan Act. And you may remember, Republican legislators took a 300-day vacation from passing bills during the pandemic and the worst economic disaster in a decade. But with the help of the American Rescue Plan Act, we were able to rebuild Wisconsin's economy from the ground up. We supported over 100,000 businesses, direct pays, and helped more than 9,000 businesses open up vacant storefronts across all main streets of Wisconsin. We traded or replaced hundreds of wells that have PFAS and nitrates and other contaminants. We've aided more than 20,000 farmers, and we've delivered rental assistance to over 40,000 households in the state of Wisconsin. Now, folks,
sorry, gentlemen, I had a work phone call.
Now, not everybody's heard about all these good things that have happened, but because the thing about me and Joe, we're not flashy, nor are we fancy. We're not for political drama or fanfare. We put our heads
Not for
down
political
and
drama. I'm
we
gonna break.
always try to do the right thing. And we're always going to say it straight. Now compare this to the other guy. There's so much at stake this November, and here's the truth. Donald Trump is a danger threat to our country and our democracy. He's not running to help others. He's only running to serve only himself.
I know this looks like a gymnasium for middle school, and they only have half of it. It's like partitioned off.
And he's got a radical agenda that he plans to pursue.
Yeah, I'd like to see a photo from the
to the
bleachers.
Oval Office.
You won't see that.
What we all know, Donald Trump will gladly sign a national abortion ban. And think about this. This week, Donald Trump's hand-picked justices to the U.S. Supreme Court, the same court that stripped millions of Wisconsinites of their reproductive
Wisconsinites.
overnight.
We couldn't find a better venue in all of Madison.
It's a decision that, as the dissenting judges put it, makes a president immune from prosecution for things like ordering naval
Well, nobody wants an embarrassing picture of a bunch of empty chairs of people who weren't there, you know?
or accepting a bribe in exchange for a pardon. Folks, that happened in the United States of America this week. And also, this is serious. When you go home, Google Project 2025 and tell everybody you know to do the same. According to his advisors that prepared that, Trump wants to fire as many.
Yeah, we're halfway through the big bad orange man that came, and he's a threat to the country. But then again, I think Joe Biden now has a spray tan. He's looking a little orange too, so it'll be interesting to see what they say.
Independence Day. Because as we
If you listen to the debate, they actually had to mute the color of both of them so that Biden didn't look so orange.
like upholding peaceful transfer of power.
If you can't beat them, join them, or put them in prison or something, right?
Well, they've been doing a lot to make Biden look more lively and less weakened at Bernie's. It's just gotten so bad. It really has.
The future of democracy runs right.
Well, he looked like he was in the nursing home, you know, with those kind of the older people get those things on his face. So they probably just trying to give him some color, make him look younger.
Well, and the other thing they're talking about is if you look at his hands, the way his hands curl when he walks and shuffles, they're saying that's earlier mid-stage onset. I think someone said it was either Alzheimer's, or it might have been Parkinson's.
Parkinson's,
not so much like Parkinson's, but they said there was other things that can cause the Parkinson's to where you're not like Michael J. Fox type deal, but you have little aspects of it.
Yeah, the beginning stages.
Yes, sir.
Y'all seen this one?
No, that's hilarious.
Yeah. They're trying to put him in there, man. I mean, they're trying to do what they can do. What are you gonna do now, John?
Teach Donald Trump a valuable.
I got it, John. I got it, buddy. Put us back in there like DF. Yeah.
Now,
So the
who
guy's
is this guy?
This guy's the governor, I think.
On this great democracy. We cannot take for granted 1 second.
I saw a video of a bunch of governors that came out that supposedly had a conversation with him at the Oval Office from a bunch of blue states. And they were all up in and around his mouth with, you know, he's going to stay. He's the best one for the job. I 100% agree with
Not
him.
all of them.
No, I hope he stays. I want him to run. I can't wait to see the next debate with him in it. I think everybody needs to get on board that Biden needs to run. He's the best candidate for the job. There's no other person that I would rather see run for president right now against former President Trump than Joe Biden.
Well, somebody said the other day that said Biden needs to do another debate ASAP. Yep, I agree.
Well,
he's
in
supposed
September.
to do too.
It's in September, right?
Yeah, I think it was scheduled.
It's already scheduled. If I was Trump, I wouldn't do another debate with him unless it's in a live audience on Fox. If you want to come redeem yourself after that shit that you did, I'll do another one with you on Fox live audience. and that he would just kill him. But at the end of the day, you just put him back out there. You know he's trash. You know he's not going to be better 3 months from now. He's going to be worse, and you're going to make him look bad again, and put him back out there. And at the point, it's too late. They have till August 7th to replace him, based on at least 2 states. So August 7th is the deadline. If you're going to replace him, you have to replace him and pick somebody, and you have to do it before August 7th. So tick tock on that.
Well, he's adamant saying he ain't leaving.
And so this is what some of the Democrat senators said right here.
For governors. We've served when Donald Trump was president, and the threats to our nation were real. And so those concerns are real to us. And what we understand was a Trump presidency was chaos, destruction. A Biden presidency was dealing with COVID, using the science, investing in infrastructure, and working to the middle class. And all of us are trying to figure out and just want to make sure as governors, we're on the front line of many of these things. We're in states, whether they're swing states or not, where folks care and are giving us feedback. And the feedback was, we are all looking for the path to win. All the governors agree with that. President Biden agrees with that. He has had our backs through COVID, through all of the recovery, all of the things that have happened. The governors have his back, and we're working together just to make very, very clear on that. A path to victory in November is the number one priority, and that's the number one priority of the president. So that's what we're trying to get done. The feedback was good. The conversation was honest and open, and the actions that will come out of that will make sure that we're getting that message out. With that, Governor Moore.
I completely agree with this guy.
It was a great conversation with the president and the vice
But
president.
Governor Moore didn't say so flattering things. Look,
I think that we always believe that when you love someone, you tell them the truth.
Tell them the truth.
And I think we came in and we were honest about the feedback that we were getting. We were honest about the concerns that we were hearing from people, and we were also honest about the fact that as the president continued to tell us and show us that he was all in, that we said that we would stand with him, because as Governor Walz said, the president has always had our backs. We're going to have his back as well. Because the results that we've been able to see under this administration have been undeniable in all of our individual states. But the thing that makes us most optimistic and most hopeful is not necessarily that we're afraid of an alternative, but also is that we're hopeful for the future. And so we know we have work to do. We know that as we're standing right here, we're behind. But we also know that that path to be able to make sure that we can pull ahead in November is real. And it's going to take all of us in order to make it happen and to make it work. And we're grateful to hear the level of excitement and the focus that the president and the vice president have about being victorious in November.
now I will say that he said, if you love somebody, you got to have that honest, hard truth talk with them. He did say that about the things that we're hearing and the things that he's been doing.
I know there's 49 other states, but we have not heard anything from our Democratic governor about Biden. And he,
You see AH over here? I guess orange is better than gray. Bro, orange is the new black. You didn't know that?
I'll tell you what, I'm not a big proponent of drugs of any kind.
But
what you guys do is on your own. But I need to know what kind of drugs these governors are on to have them that optimistic, because I know when I step back and I look at everything that's going on, talking to normal people every day, their states are suffering, horribly suffering. And you look at a state like mine or yours, Kingdom, we don't
Florida
have those same
or
problems.
Texas. He's talking about Florida or Texas. The sunshine state.
I'll tell you what, there's so much sunshine right here. Right now, it can go away.
Yeah. I think we're at like 107 degrees here today. But we have a hurricane coming, so that's good news. Should be on the Texas coast by Wednesday, so brace for impact.
But that's massively south of you, though.
It just depends on which way it turns. It might be Corpus Christi, but if it goes towards Houston, we're an hour from the Gulf of Mexico. That's where I live. So let's listen to what Homegirl's saying here.
A man who comports himself with the dignity befitting a president of this country.
Hey, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
A man who has made my life better, who is working to make your life better. is working to make our communities better.
Can I get an amen,
Ladies
sister?
and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you my president,
Mhm.
your president, the next president of the United States of America,
yeah.
Joe Biden.
Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. There's that higher love I keep thinking of. From turning, we're just hanging on, facing our fear and standing out there alone. Yeah, and it's real to me. There must be.
Oh, do you see that guy's sign?
Well, the one thing I seen was the teleprompters.
That guy hold up signs that pass the torch, Joe.
Pass the torch, Joe. That's a good
Guy
one.
right there in the white. See? Pass the torch.
Pass the torch. A standing ovation of those 50 people who were there.
Oh, Wisconsin, Wisconsin, Wisconsin. I gotta thank somebody. Gaylord Nelson, I'm back. He first introduced me to Wisconsin a long time ago when I was a kid. I'm only 40 now, but I was a kid. Sabrina, thank you for the introduction and for the volunteering for our campaign. And a special thanks to one of the best governors I've ever worked with in my life, Tony.
Every time he comes out, he reminds me more and more.
Got
of
a
Walter
former
from
governor,
Chattanooga.
Jim Doyle, Madison Road.
What?
Mayor.
Ruh.
And look, we got a guy who has a tough time winning the election. He only gets 70% of the vote. Congressman Mark Pocan. There's so many local leaders here today, including the chair of Wisconsin Democratic Party, Ben Wickler. Ben. Oh, Ben. Folks, did you have a good 4th of July? By the way, if you wonder whether Trump has it all together, did you ever hear how he explained the 4th of July when he was president? No, I'm serious. This is true. His explanation how America won the Revolutionary War, I'm not making this up. He said in his 4th of July speech 5 years ago, he said, George Washington's army won the revolution by taking control of the airports from the British.
He's got a lot of room to talk about misquoting.
Talk about me misspeaking. Airports and the British in 1776.
I'm thinking, if I remember correctly,
true.
that
He
was
is a
all in
stable
jest
genius.
and a joke, and there was a whole line to that.
Like Joe just
My
said he was
friends,
40.
I'm
It was
in
a joke,
Wisconsin for one
obviously.
reason, because we're going to win Wisconsin again. We're going to win it. And let me tell you how we're going to do it. You know the reason. We're going to do it because of you all in this room.
Listen up. Those 100
We're
people ain't going to
stand
get
up
you
for
over the
women in
top.
America. We're going to restore Roe v. Wade, the law of the land. We're going to stand up for the right to vote again. We're going to fight for Medicare and Social Security and child care, elder care, paid leave. Oh, it's growth economies. We're going to keep lowering the cost of prescription drugs and expanding health care for everyone. Not just.
Yeah,
Look,
everyone crossing the border is what he's trying to say.
Protect our children from getting weapons of war off our streets. That's what we're going to do. The idea that more children die from gunshot wounds in America is so wrong. It's sick.
Here we go. Ban assault weapons. Here we go.
We're going to keep confronting climate change.
And remember, that doesn't include 18 and 19-year-old adults.
Most
It
important,
includes 18 and 19-year-old
we're gonna
adults. It
save
does not
our
include
democracy.
0.
Now, you probably heard, we had a little debate last week. Can't say it was my best performance.
Yeah, I would say.
But ever since then, there's been a lot of speculation. What's Joe going to do? Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? What's he going to do? Well, here's my answer. I am running and going to win again. Because we're going to go. Folks, I'm the sitting president of the United States of America in no small part because of you. That's not a joke. In 2020, you came through for me. I'm the nominee of the Democratic Party.
A nominee.
I'm the nominee of this party because millions of Democrats like you just voted for me in primaries all across America.
Whether you know it or
You
not.
voted for me to be your nominee. No one else. You, the votes. The voters did that.
Including your
Despite,
dead parents.
despite that some folks don't seem to care who you
Got a
voted
trunk full of votes with your name on it. I just want to say thank you ahead of time.
for. Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I'm staying in the race. I'll beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020. Well, by the way, we're going to do it again in 2024. I learned long ago, when you get knocked down, you get back up. And I'm not letting one 90-minute debate wipe out 3.5 years of work. As the governor said, I've led this nation from the depths of pandemic to the strongest economy in the world, and that's literally true. And I and you are not finished yet. Now, you probably also noticed a lot of discussion about my age. I know I look 40. I keep seeing all those stories about I'm being too old. Let me say something. I was too old. I wasn't too old to create over 15 million new jobs. To make sure 21 million Americans are insured under the Affordable Care Act. To beat Big Pharma, the first one to ever do that, and lower the cost of insulin to $35 per season. Was I too old to relieve student debt for nearly 5 million Americans and grow the economy? Too old to put the first black woman on the Supreme Court of the United States of America? To sign the Respect for Marriage Act? Well, they're too old to sign the most significant gun safety law in 30 years. To pass the biggest climate bill in the history of the world, not here, the history of the world. But then, my critics say, sure, but he did all that. But that was in the past. What about now? Well, how about the 200,000 jobs we announced yesterday? So let me ask you, what do you think? You think I'm too old to restore Roe v. Wade, the law of the land? You think I'm too old to ban assault weapons again? To protect Social Security and Medicare? To get child care, elder care for working families who need the nation? To make billionaires finally start to pay something beyond 8.2% of the tax rate? Let me ask you.
He said they pay 1%. Remember at the
I'm too old to
debate?
beat Donald Trump? I can hardly wait. Anyway. Folks, let's focus on what really matters. We're running against the biggest liar and the biggest threat. Oh, really? The biggest liar and biggest threat to our democracy in American history. That's not hyperbole. Over 150 presidential historians voted him the worst president in American history. No, the worst. As I've said before, he has the morals of an alley cat. He lies about the economy he created. The truth, he's one of only 2 American presidents who left office with fewer jobs than when he came into office. You know who the other one was? Herbert Hoover. Fact. That's why I call him Donald Herbert Hoover Trump. He lies about the pandemic he totally botched. The truth is, over 1 million people went on to die. He told us what? To inject bleach in our arm. It wasn't serious. He lied about how great he was for veterans in his administration. The truth, he called
Do you see how he
veterans who
immediately
gave
followed
their
it up with
lives
he wasn't serious?
serving America, and I was just in Normandy.
Yeah, and I'm taken back when you said you could tell he's on drugs because he's like, he's talking very soft. He goes, and then the corn pops, you know. They got him shot up on this one.
Gave their lives. He called them, quote, suckers and losers. By the way, I'll be damned. I'm glad I wasn't with him because I'll be damned to let him talk about my son now. But how do we know he said? How do we know he said this? That I'm not.
He's going to take him behind the woodshed. Here we go.
4-star Marine general. His own former chief of staff was with him, and he told us that's what he said. He's not the only former Trump official warning us about how bad Trump is, including the former secretaries of defense and even his own vice president. They refused to endorse him. Says a lot about who Trump is, and says a lot about what he isn't.
You know, Hunter was at the White
By the
House before
way-
the State of the Union. You think he's got him hopped up on some drugs? He's like the plug?
All right. Here, Dad, let me show you how to snort this.
By the way, I couldn't be prouder to have your support and the support of our great Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. Trump is a convicted felon, found guilty, 34 felonies, trying to hide hush money payments to a porn star. Another jury found Trump sexually assaulted a woman in a public place, and he's been fined $90 million for defaming her. $90 million.
But I think they're going to overturn that, right? Based on the Supreme Court.
This so-called great businessman owes over $400 million in fines after being convicted in New York State of business fraud. Already convicted. Fined $400 million. Donald Trump isn't just a convicted criminal. He's a one-man crime wave. But Trump's biggest lie of all is he had nothing to do with the insurrection of January 6th. We all saw with our own eyes. We saw he sent thousands to attack the Capitol. We saw police being attacked, the Capitol being ransacked, the mob hunting for Nancy Pelosi. Gallows set up to hang Mike Pence. Let me ask you
This is
something.
why I agree with Trump for not coming back to
What Trump
Twitter
did on
after they took that
January
post
6th.
down. I
Why
understand
would
why he don't want to come
anyone
back to
ever let
X.
him be near the Oval Office again? Folks, the issue of this election is, what kind of America do we want to be? What kind of America do we want to be? We want to be a country of anger, revenge, and retribution, or a country of hope and optimism and possibilities, as we've always been. I want a country where women have a right to make their own health care decisions. Trump wants an America where abortion is banned and women are punished. I want an America where health care is a right, not a privilege. Trump wants to throw tens of millions of people who couldn't get insurance any other way than Obamacare.
Another
off of
thing that
Obamacare.
Biden doesn't understand, nobody has a right to
I want
somebody else's
America.
labor. That's called
The
slavery.
very wealthy began to pay their fair share.
Did you see the
Trump wants to
mustard
give the very
stain that
wealthy
was on his
individual-
clothes the last
time out
night?
when he was president, he gave him a $2 trillion
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's
creating the
classic.
largest deficit any president has in one term. Now he's announced he wants another $5 trillion tax cut.
And he's reading the teleprompter, can't even read it right.
But, it's hard to make this up. I want to protect Social Security and Medicare. He wants to cut Social Security and Medicare so he can cut taxes for the very wealthy. I want to ban assault weapons and require universal background checks. You all heard him promise the NRA.
Remember, a
Johnson
universal
National
background check is a national
I
registry.
will do nothing
Yeah.
about guns. That's what he said. I will do nothing about guns. And he means it. I want January 6th insurrectionists to serve their full prison terms.
See the
Trump
mustard
wants to
stain?
pardon them. Folks,
Oh, yeah.
you can't be pro-insurrectionist and pro-American at the
Well, he
same
does know the
time.
Clintons. What makes you think it's mustard?
Are you saying we need to check it for DNA?
This is so damn
Look, I'm
serious.
saying Monica kept the
You can't love
dress.
your country only when you win. Look, you've been standing a long time. Let me close with this.
Yeah, it's already been.
Ultimately,
He's been standing for a long time. Let me close with
American
this.
presidency is about character. the character of the president who holds the job. Because
You've been standing for 18 minutes, you senile idiot.
it gets down to that. It gets down to that. It's about honesty. It's about the president's decency, integrity. Do they respect people? Or do they incite violence and hate? Can they honor their oath to the Constitution and uphold their oath of office? Well, I don't think it's an exaggeration to suggest Trump has failed on every one of these character tests. Every one. And what's worse, the Supreme Court has just ruled that there are virtually no limits on the power of the presidency. I know it sounds bizarre, but that's what they ruled.
Yeah, right. That's not what they said at all.
According to the extreme majority of the Supreme Court, the president is now above the law. We just celebrated the 4th of July, saying we will not be ruled by a king. And this Supreme Court he appointed proved this new law. It's in a dangerous precedent, especially if Donald Trump has returned to the presidency. Just think about it. The second term, this next term, whoever is the president is going to appoint at least 2 new appointees.
You guys have read that
Trump term, where there are no limits. Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor warned us about that in her dissent in that case. Here's what she said. She noted that based on a majority decision, Trump can take out his opponents, physically take them out, take bribes, lead a coup.
There he goes, getting louder.
And be immune to ever being held accountable for it if he did it while he was president, according to the Supreme Court.
I think the funny thing is none of these Democrats realize that same Supreme Court decision applies to
So
them
he really
too.
could become a dictator that he promised to be on day one. For over 2 centuries,
They're assuming Trump's going to win. That's why they're
America's
saying
been a
that.
free democratic nation.
Oh,
I'll be
100%.
damned if the year 2024, just 2 years before our 250th anniversary of as a nation, I'll let Donald Trump take this away. Folks, this is not hyperbole. This race is about our freedom. It's about our democracy.
I think his drugs are starting to wear off.
It's about the very soul of America. Are we prepared to fight for that? I know I am, and I will. And folks, I have never been more optimistic about America's future because the American people are decent, good, honorable. You just have to remember who in God's name we are. We're the United States of America. I mean, think about it. Think about it in literal terms.
I wouldn't say United
There's nothing,
States of America.
nothing beyond our capacity when we stand together. So let's stand together, win this election, and exile Donald Trump politically. God bless you all. And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down.
The overflow room.
Then I pooped my pants.
Well, there you have it. There's President Joe Biden with a couple insightful remarks because he's been standing for a long time now after 10 minutes. But reading off the teleprompter, and the critics in the White House press conference were saying, how come Joe Biden cannot do a live speech where he's not reading from a teleprompter? And they said that he would soon be on one. But remember, he did the 2 pre-recorded shows on the 2 black radio shows, and it was embarrassing, even though they had to take it back and edit it twice. That was terrible. And this speech right here was actually pretty good. I think he was pretty fired up. Whatever they have him on or whatever drugs they have him on, it sounded, he sounded coherent. He wasn't stumbling that much, I believe, but I don't think this convinces America that he's not senile and everything. I think he's hopped up on some drugs.
Yeah, it's clear he's on something. I mean, I just don't, whether you like him or not, I just don't think he can bounce back from this.
Well, I know that you're historically a Democrat voter and a Joe Biden supporter, But how has your John? How has your position changed after the presidential debate that we watched together?
Well, first and foremost, I have never been a Democratic supporter, but I'll be honest, and I have always said I don't care who you vote for, but know who you're voting for. And at the end of the day, I don't. I mean, we're all going to have our differences in what we're voting for somebody for. Um, I mean, you got to vote for what you believe in, but this guy, like his mental capacity, it's scary to think that he's in charge of some of the stuff that he's in charge of.
I agree. What do you got on this one, Ron? I see Range Minded podcast. What's up, bro? Let me see where Range Minded is. Range Minded, come join the show, bro. I want to hear from Range Minded himself.
He's a figurehead. That's all it is. There's other people running the show. There's already speculation of Jill and Crackhead that are doing it. We saw what happened with the prior administration, the way that the military completely disobeyed orders and regulations from the president, which those individuals should have been brought up on court-martial charges for treason. He's just there like he's doing right now. He's just there to take pictures and smile. Look at me. That's all he's there to do.
He's actually walking pretty good. He looks like he doesn't look as confused as he normally does. He's taking selfies with the 3 or 4 supporters that showed up to support him. I don't know how much they paid the people, but it was enough, because if it was $60 to $100 to stand in a room for 15 minutes and cheer every time the teleprompter says cheer, like in a studio audience, I think they did a great job. And this was, I don't know, I think it probably gave a little bit of confidence back to people who were saying that he should be replaced. Breaking news, he said he's not dropping out of the race, and he's the man, and he's the person who got the Democrat primary. He's the lead candidate and the incumbent president. He's not going a damn place except for to the polls on November 5th. So there you go.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere, Kingdom.
No. Well, he's going wherever Jill tells him he's going, and Hunter is going to take him to the place where he can draft up the. How does he pardon Hunter Biden? I mean, how does that even possibly happen?
Well, he said he wouldn't.
I know he said he wouldn't, but he will.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think after last Thursday's debate, I mean, I think he's going to try to shy away from everything he can, keep spotlight off of him in a negative context. There was a report, I think, right before you went live, that Jill and Hunter are telling him that he needs to stay in, but he also needs to be looking at replacing some White House staff that are apparently in his ear. That was interesting.
Well, when you have people who are saying you're too old and you need to be replaced, and everyone's complaining about you, and we think you should, not be in the office, or the office of the president. I mean, if you disagree with those people, you have to replace those people, because you want to be surrounded by people who believe in you and people who support you, even when no one else is supporting you. These core group of people support you no matter what. That group's getting smaller and smaller. The old FOC, meet the Fockers, the circle of trust. That circle of trust is getting smaller and smaller for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And he didn't do a good job whatsoever. If fake news was calling it, it was terrible. And there's no longer, they can't hide anymore about how terrible he's performing.
Well, it's going to be interesting too. I've heard some of his big name supporters, big company supporters, monetary wise, have said they're not going to donate any more money to his campaign because they believe he needs to step down.
Yeah, I heard that some of them are requesting they want their money back.
Oh, I hadn't heard that. But
some of them.
So, I mean, even at that, I mean, what's that going to, I mean, that should tell him a lot right there.
Apparently, the white lady just scolded the black lady. This will be good for MSDNC News tonight. Thanks, Range Minded. I mean, he somehow has some supporters. I mean, having 100 people show up, I don't know how that compares with Trump having like 10,000 or 100,000 people show up to a show. I don't see how 100 people show up for Biden and 100,000 show up for Trump, but you're going to say that these guys are neck and neck. It just doesn't make sense when you're talking about Americans are 50-50 on Trump and Biden. When the people show up to the polls or they show up to to hear him speak, that's not reflected in the crowds for sure.
No, I'm curious how they let that one guy in with that sign.
I don't see him there anymore. Are you?
Well, he's on the right side now. This guy was on our left side. He was stayed right. But that goes back to what I was saying. I wonder if they got some of these people off the street.
I think the chances of them getting people off the street is like 100%. Because you have to have at least the core group of people who are behind you that are supporting you with signs. Hey, hold this sign, stand here, frisk them a little extra hard. And oh, look at that. We got the man, the myth, the legend. We have Range Minded Podcast. Steve.
Live from the bunker.
When Trump come to Winston-Salem near me when he first ran, when we went through security, they had signs if we wanted a sign. And of course, it was all pro-Trump signs. They wasn't letting anybody in with negative signs that had any kind of negative connotation to it. So that, that right there tells me he had they got them off the street.
Did you see the post that I put? It's actually this one right here. It's if Joe Biden were to apply for a job at Walmart, what job do you think he would get, or they would offer him? Oh, they're showing the crowd here. Let's take a look.
Shampoo salesman.
Look at all the tens of 20 of people.
To tens of tens.
Look, this is all the people there. There's like
there's like 4 rows deep.
50 people there, 40 people there.
Yeah, so
you see
I don't know if you saw. So on that right side, you see the right side back behind the little US flowery banner things. There's that gal in the light blue shirt standing next to that short old lady.
Mm-hmm.
They're just egressing to the going out. Anyway, Biden was over there and yeah, she ripped into that black lady. I don't know what it was. The black lady was holding her sign funny or something, but that old gal, she lit her up.
Well, that guy to the left of the flag at the back row with the white shirt on.
Yeah,
he had
on the phone.
Handwritten sign that said "Pass the torch, Joe."
Wow. They let him in to do that?
That's what we were talking about. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah, and they also have there's a guy that looks like he has a hard hat on and a reflector vest, like they just grabbed him off the street crew and put him in there.
Right there by the Biden Harris sign.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like, hey, people who support Biden are normal working people. Hey, just I know you don't work at a construction. Just put the fucking hard hat on and the safety vest and stand back there. I'll give you $100.
They went to the temp agency and just grabbed a couple people.
Exactly. Yeah, out of the AA meeting. Hey guys, you want to make a quick extra $100? This will be the easiest $100 you ever made. Put this fucking suit on, put this hard hat on, and hold this sign for 15 minutes.
You say that comically, but there's been ads that have been proven and shown that are on whatever that thing is the kids use these days to find stuff and get raped. What is that? Craigslist for people for the rallies and stuff for him.
And interestingly enough, I only see that one guy bottom left there with a Biden Harris shirt on. I haven't seen another.
Well, there's a few of those. I've got Joe's back, the orange shirts floating around.
Oh, okay.
Or Joe's got my back or some BS.
Oh, I see him now. Okay.
Yeah, those orange shirts people more likely might be Craigslist people.
I don't want Joe sniffing my back.
Well,
you're too old. You're too
do you
old.
see do you see the dude that Joe was like caressing the guy's arm? You see that one?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's like, why are you so freaking weird, dude? Why can't you just be normal, like, range-minded podcast? Why do you have to be so fucking creepy?
Yeah, bro, I'm super norm.
Well, he didn't get into banning guns, and he didn't say a damn word about the border. I didn't hear either one of those two.
I didn't get to hear the whole thing. I was out. I had to work outside today. It's freaking hot, and I'm working in a black metal trailer trying to fix some stuff. And
You didn't miss anything. What happened with 4th of July? You let off some fireworks, shot some guns, or what'd you do?
I'll have to share some videos. So a town that we used to live in does fireworks, and they're actually pretty good. It's just a little tiny town, but it's pretty awesome. It goes for probably 20 minutes. The fireworks show. It's pretty good.
Brother John had some fireworks last night.
What'd you do, John? You punched
He had-
somebody?
He had sparklers, right? Little cones, the cones.
Writing his name.
Yeah.
I was wore out from the heat yesterday.
Oh yeah. What'd you do last night? Called it a night early?
I did. Yeah, I was whipped.
Boo. Not supposed to brag about that shit, dude.
Well,
Big Ron, what'd you do, bro?
It was so hot and humid here last night, and then it started to rain. We went outside for about 30 or 40 minutes, and it was just so bad you couldn't even get fireworks to light. So we went to bed.
Wow.
Well, oh, it was raining?
Yeah.
Oh. It was nice here, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was like yesterday's weather was perfect for the parade and everything in Southeast Idaho. I think it was like 75 degrees, maybe 80 degrees. Just a slight breeze, man. It was a beautiful day all day long. But Idaho sucks. Don't move here. Don't move here. It's full.
So I never did hear. How was
What I
this?
say about
How was?
Florida.
Yeah, we were talking during the Trump Biden debate, and we were going into this hotel that you stayed at that rents it out by the hour, and then you were actually there for a gun show. What happened with the gun show? You made a video, or what you got?
Okay, so GunCon, which is
GunCon.
Yeah, that's at Brownell's headquarters in Grinnell, Iowa. So my son and I decided to make a road trip out of it. It's a 19-hour drive, and on the way there, we broke it up into 2 stays. And that first night, we drove to Casper, Wyoming, and I made the mistake of looking for cheap hotels. I was trying to keep it on a budget.
Mhm.
Yeah, that hotel is beyond cheap. They give you syphilis just to stay there, I think.
Yeah, bed bugs are optional, or they're
Oh,
included.
it was so bad. So bad. So we didn't sleep much. I slept with I think I told you I had my gun right there on the bed next to me with my flashlight ready to go just in case. I had to wake up every 10, 15 minutes, check on my car, make sure it wasn't getting broken into.
That's understandable. Yeah.
And I mean, as soon
You
as they
didn't
broke,
valet your car?
oh hell no! I'm sure there was plenty that would valet. Yeah. So I, as soon as I could get out of there, in fact, there wasn't even anybody at the desk. Like we got up and we're like, I had to wake up whoever was watching the front desk, which is barely a desk. It was like a tar covered picnic table, basically.
It was half hotel desk. It was half gas station. It was the whole thing.
It was so bad.
A liquor store. Yeah.
Well, there's it's bad. It's like you watch those movies on TV where they pull in, like the cops are investigating something. They pull into these sleazy hotels, and there's like basically homeless looking people sitting in their lawn chairs out in front of the hotel. That's what it was. Like it was so bad. So anyway, it was gross, dude.
So how was GunCon?
GunCon was a blast.
Where's the videos? I'm looking on your channel. I don't see nothing.
I haven't posted anything yet because I haven't had time to really share stuff. And the biggest frustration is all the audio is gone. So when I compile all the videos put together, I'm gonna have to just voice over everything. It sucked. Like I was so disappointed. So
yeah,
but I'm gonna
I
get
that
next
one
year.
time. I was in Vegas. I did one of the best interviews I think I've ever done in my life. And then after the interview was over, I pushed the stop button and realized I never fucking pushed the record button. And the whole I didn't record none of it. And then the guy was like, "Did you get everything?" And I had to lie. And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. It was awesome." And I was like, "Oh my God, what an idiot."
Yeah, I have a couple of good interviews. One with a guy his name's Travis from FRAC, which is a gun rights group.
Is that 243?
That was an amazing interview.
Was that 243?
243.
Episode 243. Old friends reunite.
No. That was at GunCon.
Oh, okay.
There was a whole bunch of people at GunCon that manufacturers, representatives, that kind of stuff. And no audio.
Yeah, I like what you look like in a suit. If you don't mind me sharing. Look, here's
that's my ATF video. Have you not seen this video?
That is funny.
You remember when the ATF went on Face the Nation?
We've got these
you ever watch that?
Street.
Oh, we can watch it if you want. We can.
That
play
was
it. It's no big-
hilarious. None of them knew how to operate the firearms or nothing.
Oh yeah.
It looked like a bunch of retards trying to put on a
Things come out of
turtleneck.
barrel that can be extremely dangerous. Look at this. They call this an AR pistol with the shoulder thingy that goes up. Why does a civilian need this at any point? None whatsoever. This is going straight to the ATF and perhaps to South America at some point. We're not sure. Along with these guns here.
So where do you get this? You have the little lapel that has the microphone here.
Yeah.
Why don't I have this thing?
They're like $20 on Amazon, dude.
Oh, that's what's up.
The ones I want. What's the one brand? They're sweet, but they're like $500. The little magnet lapel pins. They're the mics. They're rad.
Here's one I got, Kingdom. It's
I can't even see it.
Hold on,
Zeal
let me zoom John in here. Zeal sound.
And then
where's the?
Oh yeah, see those are pretty rad.
What those are your microphone?
Yeah,
When you what?
Like if I do like recording on my phone or something like that.
Oh, like if you're live somewhere?
Yeah, because it you can do. It's got a lightning. I'm trying to get it in focus here.
Well, we can't even see it. It blends right in with the background.
Yeah. Damn it. Anyway, it's got a lightning port on one end and then USB-C on the other, so it'll work with.
But that you put that on your lapel and you record with that?
Well, you plug it into your phone.
Oh.
And it like Bluetooth to the recording.
Bluetooth to the lapel. I think I paid $37 for it. It's awesome.
That's all it is.
Yeah, I just bought some new ones on Amazon because I think it rained so hard at GunCon on the shooting day. Like my backpack was soaked. I had all my camera equipment and stuff in my backpack. I think I ruined those lapel mics.
Yeah, I usually bring my drone to stuff like that.
What drone you running?
The DJ Maverick.
So DJI makes killer mics, like lapel mics. They're the best of the market. They're like $400, but they are the best on the market.
Yeah, it's the drone it's right behind me, but the drone I have this was like $1,600. The DJ something 4 or something.
Those things are rad. I want one.
They're badass. But if you're trying to fly them anywhere near an airport, there's some limitations.
Don't do that.
Well,
actually,
I think you can only go about 100 feet high, or there's limitations of how far, but it automatically does it, and it shows your flight pattern, and it has the collision avoidance, and it's very nice. We've recorded a lot of cool stuff with that drone.
Yeah, I want to do some. I think I'm going to start doing some more shooting videos, like instead of just me sitting in the, because I have another channel called Impractical Tactical, so I figured if I use that to do like gun reviews and trick shots and stuff, and then I'll keep the podcast,
trick shots like pool.
Yeah, I actually have some pretty cool.
You said it's impractical what? Impractical what?
Impractical Tactical.
That's your other.
Yeah, Unpractical Texans like, hey, I can sue you for infringement, and I was like, bro, I've had that channel since 2014.
So you should sue him.
Yeah, when he realized, he's like, oh, never mind. There's a couple of there's a loophole. Do you know what loophole shooting is? Have you ever heard of that? That's where you shoot through a hole at a target downrange.
Shoot?
That's not good.
Oh.
Impractical Tactical?
Oh, that's the Impractical Tactical.
No, I gotta sue that guy.
So look, the Impractical Tactical, he's done taking it from you. So Impractical Tactical, did I search for it correctly up here?
I'm gonna sue that guy. Tell him he has to change his name because I've had my channel for a lot longer.
Impractical Tactical. I see the Impractical Tactical. And is it this one with the P with the Phillies on it?
Nope. There's another bastard I gotta take down.
This one with the
Nope.
mountains.
There's a third one. Son of a bitch. There's me right there. Go up. Go up.
New lapel mic.
Right here?
Right. No, up one more. See you at the thumbnails. Go all the way to the right.
This one?
Look at that sexy man.
Okay. Well, now that we're here.
Okay, so cutting carts is a fun game to do.
especially
was
at
a
a
few
distance
pounds
of
ago.
15 feet. It's not always the easiest, but it isn't something that's so hard to do that the best marksmanship can do it. It's all about lining up your sights, keeping everything vertical above that. Now, a harder shot would be splitting the card horizontally. You no longer have the luxury of keeping a nice vertical sight picture. Suddenly there's nothing to look at because it's covered by the muzzle.
Dang.
That's how it's done. Good luck.
So those are trick shots.
Yeah, there's just a couple on there. I haven't used that channel in a while.
Interesting.
But there's one of me doing a loophole shot where I shoot through a 2-inch hole at a target that's 75 feet downrange.
Have you ever gotten to a situation where you actually had to use your, or thought you had to bring it out on somebody or anything like that?
Luckily, no. I thought maybe the other day, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that damn hotel.
Yeah. No close calls though.
No, I've been pretty lucky.
Did you?
I hope I never have to use it.
What'd you say, John?
Review, Steve.
Huh?
Did you leave them a review?
I haven't yet, but I don't think they could read anyways. So.
Yeah. Well, there was already like 5,000 1-star reviews already, so I figured what is mine?
What's one more, right?
Yeah, no big deal. Let's just keep it to myself. They know they have bed bugs and it's high crime area.
It's bad, dude. It was so bad.
How'd you book it? Expedia?
Booking.
Booking.com?
Yeah.
Is that an app on your phone that you do?
Yeah.
You don't like read for you just go for search by lowest price and then whatever the lowest one is you pick?
Well, and I don't remember seeing it like half-star review or anything. I thought I remember seeing at least like a 2 or 3 star on there, which that doesn't bother me. But yeah, when it's basically a homeless septic tank, that's a little worrisome.
Yeah.
It's like a shithole country, a whole different world.
Oh Lord, what was the name of it?
So, I mean, I'm just receiving all kinds of stuff on X right now. Sonia Hamburg is saying Trump's presidency was like the Karen Reed case. Super comedic. Super comedic on the surface, but underneath extremely serious and dark. I'm getting like a bunch of I don't know what it is. I don't know if you guys do this or maybe because I said a few things on X, but everybody and their mother wants to tell me why Joe Biden's so great and why Trump is a piece of crap. Every single day I'm hearing it. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Like, dude, I'm not a fucking spokesperson for Donald Trump, dude. Why is everyone trying to set the record straight for me? I don't know. How you like my shirt, bro? Yeah. How you like my shirt, Steve?
I like it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. We got the upside down flag. Hey, what does it mean when you have a black and white flag like behind me? Anybody know what that means?
You're colorblind?
This is a military thing. Have you been in the military before?
No.
How about you, Big Ron? Black and white flag. A country has their flag black and white. What does it mean?
That might be a new one on me. I know what upside down flag means. I know what upside down ID means, but black and white flag, that's a new one.
How about you, James? You know anything about that?
No, that's new one on me too.
When two countries go to war and their red, white, and blue flag, they go to a black and white flag. It means that we're going to battle and we will not be taken prisoners. So don't be taken a prisoner. They'll fight to the death.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I know. I inadvertently handed the ID to the gate guard a couple of months ago upside down, and he asked me if I was okay, and then I realized what I did.
Look untactical. Like, I didn't say that. That was Kingdom. I didn't say shit, bro. That was Steve.
What did I say this time?
Yeah, well, I don't know. We're pointing fingers.
I'm loading up all these impractical tactical people, and I'm gonna say, hey, you have to change your name.
Hey, Dylan, what's going on, bro? Dylan Reeves. Hey, everybody.
Hey, did you see where CBS in Boston interviewed John O'Keefe's brother?
Did you see that? Yeah, I did. It was terrible. I feel so sorry for him and the O'Keefe family, not to switch it from Dark Brandon to the Karen Reed murder trial, but I seen TMZ picked it up. TMZ had a case, and then also Fox News. Everyone on X right now is talking shit about Fox News because they went in there and said that Karen Reed pretty much hit him. It's just like the Karen Reed murder trial. If you haven't been following it for like 3 months, on its face, it's really hard to understand unless you actually been following the different backstories. And these channels who are just picking it up a couple days ago, you know, for the first time, they're reporting some stuff that are not facts, and they're getting some serious backlash from people who actually have been following the Karen Reed murder trial.
Well, I thought it was interesting too. There's some lady, and not to get off track, but
No.
There was some lady, I can't remember her name. I've got to go back and find it now on YouTube. She's gotten this surveillance video from the waterfall moments or a few minutes before they left, and there was some kind of I don't want to say an altercation, but one of the brothers grabs Higgins by the arm as he's trying to leave, pulls him in, and is like whispering to him. And then they holler over at John O'Keefe, who's on the other side of the bar, and motions for him to come over, like they were, like they were colluding something. It was interesting.
Yeah, this was what everyone was saying online right here. It was the glare. I like the glare. If you don't like the glare, I like the glare. But Fox News was saying that the two guys who are the experts, these two guys right here, Dr. Wolf and the other guy, they said that they were hired by the defense. So even the glare is like, hey, Fox News, do your fucking jobs. These guys were not hired by the defense. They were not paid by the defense.
Well,
and these two men were not providing evidence for their analysis. They did testify in front of a federal grand jury, and neither defense nor the Commonwealth were present. These two were in two of the most unbiased and most qualified witnesses to test in the trial. These two men did say unequivocally that Karen Reed's car did not cause the wounds on John O'Keefe's body, and that John O'Keefe's body did not cause the damage to Karen Reed's taillight. So that was...
Well, Jackson asked that younger guy, he's like, we did not pay you, correct? Correct. The prosecution has not paid you, correct? Correct. So they testified under oath that they were not paid by either the prosecution or the defense.
Let me pull up Britt, this lady Britt. She's
so I got a question while you pull that up.
Yeah.
Is it worth me bitching to these people saying that they had the original and practical channel when I have clearly had it for the last 8 years?
I mean, what are they going to do? Change their channel? I mean, what's that going to do?
Nothing. I guess that just forces me to do better content, right?
Yeah, I would.
You can always copyright it.
Well, if they were stealing your actual content, but when you're talking about the word tactical or untactical or whatever, like me, when we use kingdom, there's about 5,000 kingdoms. You know what I mean? So it's really hard. If it was, range-minded podcast, and the host's name was Steve, then I'd be like, hey, man, hold up. And they were even taking some of the clips from your audio and replaying it on their own channel. That would definitely be, copyrighted intellectual property. But I don't know, bro. I think the old untactical, that'd be a tough one.
Yeah.
But did you research it before you got the name?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
There was nobody?
I don't know how to search like by age, if there's a way to search by age of creation, or you know what I mean, by channel.
I think you can. Oops. I gotta run upstairs. I'll catch y'all in a minute.
His videos are boring anyways, so
yeah, I mean, one show has like 50 people following it, the other show has 10 people following it. I mean, it's really not where it's monetized making money, because then you could say there's damages. Right now there's really not damages yet, in my opinion. Yeah. But yeah, this Karen Reed, where's Britt? Let me see what Britt's talking about. She came up, let me see here. I had to have put it up here. It's got to be somewhere. Basically, she was trying to say how long, this is a great question, Big Ron. How long does it take for you to be 80-degree body temperature if you've been left out in the cold? What do you think the answer is?
It's going to depend on the kind of clothes that he's wearing, because it's going to let the body cool slower or quicker depending on that. But I don't know. I'd say 6 to 8 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I would think so.
Wow. I was thinking it would be faster than that.
Well, you know, they made the comment. They said during the trial that he laid out there alive for a while because they had the brain. The brain had to swell, and while it was swelling, the body was still alive. So it was still maintaining that 98-degree body temperature because he still had warm clothes on. And then once the brain swelled to its maximum ability and popped the brainstem is when he died. So yeah, he probably laid out there for a while.
Yeah, this is these I was gonna say these freaking idiots. This is just mainstream news picking up stuff. This is TMZ, and listen to like how they're reporting it. I mean, I don't blame them; they ain't been following it, but this is just kind of stuff you're seeing.
Trial and the reaction, the public reaction, was so passionate, really on both sides. The case in Boston of Karen Reed, who was not accused of backing up her car. She did back up her car and hit her boyfriend.
Well,
who was a cop.
that part is up for debate.
Okay.
Whether she actually hit the boyfriend.
So you're like, they're like, well, she did hit him. I mean, that's what's going on, and then it's just Harvey's trying to save the deal here.
Well, up for debate. John O'Keefe was killed by a car hitting him, right?
Scary said you think that's
More
it.
complicated.
Yeah, it's like, no, I understand that you're trying to cover the case, but it's just really the people who are on YouTube is actually, bringing the most up-to-date information on these kind of stuff.
Get it, Charles.
Okay.
So she was, she's charged with murdering him. I mean, they actually did murder, manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter. They did the works on her, saying that she was with her boyfriend, who was a police officer there in Boston, and they were drunk and they argued, and he got out of the car and then to go to a party, and she wasn't going to go in. She backed up and hit him. That's the prosecution's version.
Right.
She has a different version.
Yes, she does. And the jury could not reach a verdict. They could not decide. And yesterday, the judge had to declare a mistrial. There were.
I mean, it's just like all the news that's covering this, they're not really covering accurate information. They're just covering, whatever got set in front of them by, and they're just reading it off. And a lot of this stuff it's very difficult to find this case because it's so upside down. Like to believe it was a cover up on that one. Oh my gosh, it's just so hard to even think that, by looking at it for the first, 20 minutes or, less than an hour of research. What you got, Big Ron? Typing away.
Yep, typing away.
I'm trying to find this chart that Britt sent, and I'm like, where the hell was it? Oh, here's one from Joe Biden. This is the 100 people that were at Joe Biden waiting to get in today. Look how they have it on fast forward. They're just going around the same 100 people. See that? Everyone lined up in a line. They just kept going down that same line.
Well, they don't think people are smart enough to see that they're wearing the same clothes.
I know. Where is that?
Democrats, for the most part, and if we have Democrats that are listening, I'm sorry that I'm what I'm about to say. This is honestly how I feel. Low information voters. They tend to vote with their emotions and not with facts, and we see that in some of the people that we've had on Night Court with Joe Lanu, that they'll come on there and they'll try to use their feelings as a factual argument, and then when you give them plain and simple facts and show them the receipts and where to go find it, they get very upset. And I think we've been seeing more of that with the liberal side of the voting block, where there's less and less Socratic method to making decisions, and there's more and more of the emotional way to make decisions. And we're seeing that across the board in general with society. My feelings. And then when you show them facts, it really gets into their feelers.
Here's I agree 100%. Here's that Karen Reed. Well, here's a body temperature change, and this is from Britt on X. So it looks like the hours, and then body temperature in Celsius, which is, I guess, 98.5 would be, what is that, about 37 Celsius? Something like that.
Yep,
so they're saying it drops down to mild hypothermia after 20 minutes. You're getting about an hour outside. You're going to get severe hypothermia about an hour and a half. and then right in the 2 hours is expected minimum survival. And then you're going to be looking at somewhere in the 2.5 hours would be the survival record. And
But what we need to know about this picture, though, is what is this based off of? Is this a naked body? Is this a clothed body? Or is this a body clothed for winter? Because he was clothed for winter, was he not?
No, he just had a T-shirt on. Remember, they said, how come he doesn't have a jacket and has a shoe off?
I mean, it was
the dog tore it up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the dog tore it up, but they had to have the shirt that has the punctures in it because he was inside the house and he took his jacket off when he was inside the house, and his shoe was in the house covered with blood, I'm sure. So he's outside with just that T-shirt on, that overshirt that we've seen. The overshirt and a pair of jeans is all he had on, and one shoe. So if he's laying out there like that, that's not really enough. And you're laying in the freaking snow while it's snowing, so you're going to be pretty freezing cold really quick. There was still blood pouring from his nose and his mouth when they found him. So if she would have hit him at 12 and then all of a sudden they found the body at 6, then that means he would have been out there while it's snowing. There was 2 inches of snow by the time it was 6 in the morning. So he'd have been out there in the freezing cold for at least 5 hours. I don't know that blood would still be pouring from your nose if you've been out there for 5 hours.
No, it would not, because as the body temperature goes down, the thickness of the blood goes up. So he would not be flowing. The body's going to naturally pull the blood into the internal extremities in the core of the body to keep it warm. It'll sacrifice your outer limbs to keep your core body warm.
But they didn't put him out until 3 in the morning. But what Britt was trying to say is if he had actually been out there since 12:27 or 12:30 when Karen Reed had left, and she hit the Wi-Fi at John O'Keefe's house at like 12:37. So if that were to happen, then that means he was out there for 6 hours. There's no way he would look like he did unless he was put out there 2 hours before.
No, I completely agree. And then the next question is going to be is, how do they take the temperature? Is it this a medical examiner's temperature where they use the probe to take the liver temperature? Or is this just, however they decided to take the temperature?
Yeah. Rectal. Isn't that, John, isn't that how you take your temperature, bro? The rectal thermometer. I guess John doesn't want to talk about that. Oh, John's not even on here. Oh shit. Sorry, John. It was just a joke, I swear. Yeah, that's interesting. And then another thing is, I mean, there's a lot of things that they didn't bring up. Another one was the shoe. I cannot believe they didn't bring up the shoe. That part was just puzzling. Why the hell did you not bring up that freaking shoe, that black sole shoe? But I think probably the best one is Sean El Jefe McDonough. He had a come to Jesus for Michael Proctor. This was classic. Did anybody see that one?
I did. And I think I know why they didn't bring up the shoes. Because of the questions pulled into the chain of custody, the evidence wouldn't have mattered anyway.
What do you mean?
Because every single bit of evidence in the Karen Reed trial was called into question about that chain of custody, because there was one person who was in control and there was like a 2.5 month gap with nothing. If they tried to bring up the shoe, it would just be a moot point anyway.
You think so? If you have a picture of a black shoe and then you bring out a shoe that's supposed to be the other shoe, because they didn't bring out the other shoe until later on when Tully came up there, they finally showed that he said this is the other shoe. But when they brought out the other shoe, that'd have been the time to say, well, what about this picture that was brought up by the CERT team? But when the CERT team came up and said we found the other shoe, they never had the CERT team say, and this is the shoe and this is the picture. The CERT team presented the picture, and then Tully, like a week and a half later, he says, here's the shoe that we found. But those two pieces of the puzzle weren't together. And so when he says, here is the picture of the CERT team with that lieutenant, the O'Hara, they never got around to saying, well, show the shoe. They waited until Tully came because he was in charge of the evidence to show the shoe. But then they didn't bring back here's the picture, and then here's the shoe. They never put that together. And even if there was a problem with the chain of the custody, at least you can show the picture has a black sole and the freaking shoe over here has a white sole, but you obviously planted the wrong one and then changed it later. I mean, I think if the jury seen that, I think that would have been great for at least a reasonable doubt that, hey, even because it seems like the burden is on the defense that they have to prove that it was a cover up. It's really reversed. But I mean, that would have been at least something I would want the jury to see before I arrested. For
Yeah, I
sure.
agree.
But they didn't do that. That was weird. That was just, it was so weird. Who did that? That one was the Glare. The Glarer. Yeah, he was like, and you guys think we're freaking stupid. And he has like 84 million. And the Canton, the freaking dude, there's now we have Michael Proctor, you know, he's almost fired and everything. I'll talk to you about that one in just a second. But where are we at here? Trying to see the one that he did about the shoe. There's been a lot of stuff on the news about it, though, here lately. Here it is, right here. I mean, how are you going to say that that's not a black sole? I don't get it. How are we saying that?
Just because the front of the shoe has a black sole on it means nothing.
What do you mean?
Well, you can look at the front end of that shoe and see that it's black, and it runs down the arch of the foot, and the back end is kind of black.
The picture on the left there?
Yeah, the picture on the left, and then when they go to the picture on the right, it's obviously a white sole that runs up to the tip. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that picture on the left a little bit better quality. But I mean, when you're taking it with a disposable camera that you drop off at the development place there in the parking lot, and
The Polaroid picture.
Yeah, and you're using solo cups to take your evidence. I'm surprised we got that good of a picture.
Yeah, so when you find this shoe, because you couldn't find the shoe when the Canton Police Department went through it when 2 inches of snow. I mean, you can't find a shoe in 2 inches of snow, but they do find it when there's 18 inches of snow later on. They do take a picture with the 18 inches of snow, this particular shoe. But if you look at, if everyone says the sole of the shoe is a shadow, but if you look at the snow that's on the shoe, how white it is, and then you look at the snow that's on the actual shoe itself, it is also white. Where the black sole is, that is also white. So it's not that, if it was dark, that would be, if that was actually a shadow, I don't think it would be dark like that, because you can see on the top of the shoe that the snow is also white. That is a black sole shoe, and they have a white sole shoe right there.
And that shoe they have in their hand looks brand new too.
Yeah, I don't even think that was, I think yeah, that's a right shoe, but this is a left shoe. That shoe right there is not the shoe that's this one. This left shoe, see, that one's a right shoe, a right side shoe. This left shoe is the one that Tully brought up. That it also had a white sole, but Tully brought it up. This, you can see that's a left shoe and it's a white right shoe. But the left shoe that Tully brought up, that one also had a white bottom, but it was newer. See how this one has scuffs on it? You can see the bottom right. The picture kind of has some wear and tear on it. The other shoe, it looked like it had some wear and tear, but not the same, which is interesting. If you have two pairs of shoes, they have a similar wear and tear on them, but the two that they brought up didn't. I mean, that alone would be, if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit, or the body temperature. There's so much evidence that they didn't bring up in that trial. It's ridiculous. It's laughable that what a terrible job of planting evidence that the police department did. I mean, if you're going to do something bad, at least have the audacity to do bad things well. But I think they would have been better off if they just planted a few little pieces of taillight here and there, and then you could have made up a story of whatever. But planting all that taillight where you did, they backed themselves in a corner and completely exiting from the fact that there was not a dog. It was not a dog that bit his arm when clearly it was a dog, and because they planted the taillight pieces in his shirt. It's just they planted it's just, as the brothers would be saying, you just doing too much. They just did too much, I think, on the planting. Right, Big Rock?
Well, on top of that, we have all the videos that shows the car driving by with a solid tail light. It may or may not have been cracked. You've got the testimony from the tow truck driver saying that he didn't drop that car off. We've got the flipped video with the time stamps, and there's just so much.
It's surprising. It's so surprising that they somehow could not get. They had more than one jury member that thought she should be convicted in this one. It was just so surprising that they did that. Oh, look, hey Britt, yeah. Yeah, so that was Brent with the hypothermia, that the body should be frozen. I completely agree. It's just another one of those. It's just another one of those things. It's like one of the 5,000 reasons why Karen Reed did not hit John O'Keefe, or the Apple Health data that, remember, what was it, 80, 60 some steps or something like that? But the timestamp was when Karen Reed left, and it's a 7-minute drive or something like that back to her house. When she gets to the house and she hooks up to John O'Keefe's Wi-Fi internet, the phone takes like another however many steps after she's already home. Whoever has the phone is taking more steps at that time, showing that he definitely it wasn't laying there in the snow like they're saying. His phone was moving around at Brian Albert's house while Karen Reed was already home. Just that would be enough. I mean, but it's just so much. Britt said, bring up the chat screenshots, specific clothing, bag, and etc. Oh, she specified. Let me see. What is Britt talking about here? Oh, here it is right here. She's talking about the time it takes to develop hypothermia in 0 degrees Celsius or 30 degrees Fahrenheit can vary depending on several factors, including an individual's age, health, clothing, and activity level. In general, the onset of hypothermia can occur more quickly in colder temperatures. For example, if a person is exposed to 0 degrees Celsius without adequate protection or warm clothing, they could start to experience the early stages of hypothermia in as little as 30 minutes and to an hour. Prolonged exposure to these conditions without appropriate measures to stay warm can lead to more severe stages of hypothermia. The unprotected person can start experiencing the early stages of hypothermia, such as shivering and loss of dexterity, in as little as 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. So this must have been what Jennifer McCabe was searching for. Is a how long to die in cold. And this is what probably she was probably looking for, to find out, will it make sense if I put him out there? Will he'll be frozen and dead, so he's not going to tell the story, or will he still be alive if we only have 2 hours? But they put him out there anyway. If a person remains exposed without taking measures to warm up, more severe hypothermia can set in within 30 to 60 minutes. Symptoms may include confusion, drowsiness, and loss of coordination. Without intervention, hypothermia can progress to a life-threatening stage within 1 to 2 hours. Well, there you go. Yeah, thanks for that share, Britt. Appreciate you. James, Big Ron, Steve?
No, I've got nothing to add on that. It's pretty spot on.
Yeah, that whole trial. I mean, I don't think it's going back, dude. There's no way.
I think what Joe said was right, that they say that just hey, we're gonna retry this. Look at us, and then they're like, all right, dude, we're fucked.
Yeah. The chief of police, the major. I mean, everyone's kind of backing off, and now they're talking about they have some sex trafficking ring. I seen the Massachusetts was talking about that. I mean, they're trying to do whatever they can to change the subject, but it's not going very good. That whole John O'Keefe that he went over there and did that speech, or he did that news thing saying, not John O'Keefe, but his brother. It's just sad. He thinks Karen Reed did it. But I think the people that have been doing the best job in the last couple days is microdots. Have you seen microdots? What the videos that they've been putting out?
No, I haven't.
Dude, if you have a chance, go to microdots. They got
Is that the ice cream?
Is it? This guy right here, let me share. This guy right here is microdots. This gentleman right here, and the
I
stuff
think
that
I'm
he's
thinking of just dots. That's what it is. My daughter.
oh, the frozen dots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that used to be like this space age ice cream or some shit. Like that.
Yeah.
You got to watch this one. Mike Shoot interview. This is one of John O'Keefe's friends from high school. He does one. The hometown friend of John O'Keefe speaks. This interview from microdots is badass. And then also this one right here, the state lynching of Karen Reed from microdots. So if you haven't watched those two videos, watch them. And then also this one right here, Changed, where they're talking about the DA, Michael Morrissey. It's actually showing the FBI closing in and arresting him, even though it was supposed to be as soon as Karen Reed was acquitted that he was going to post this video, but he posted it anyway. But it shows them coming after. It's like he makes these automations. I'll show you. Well, I guess the videos. I guess it's not right here. It's not right here, but yeah, those videos right there from microdots. He's doing some of the best work, man. So definitely check him out. And he did something with. I'll show you just a little small piece of it.
Vitamins, minerals, super mushrooms.
Super mushrooms.
She would have gone right by here. Get straight. And that camera at the library would have picked up her right taillight, the side that I'm on right now. That would have picked it up. Okay? Right up to Meadows Avenue. Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
I mean, dude, it's like an actual movie, man. Very good. The whole entire thing, and he does these recreation things.
Video
Like this.
equipment was working because they have that footage from 12:16 a.m. But in the video that the prosecution turned over to us, there is a gap in that video from 12:37
Why didn't the defense have this?
9 a.m., which would have been the precise time my client would have been driving back.
Dude, you talk about people who are just super freaking over the top talented, man. This microdots where he does the recreation and the and all of this, badass, bro, badass videos. I don't want to steal his videos, which usually I don't have a problem doing, but these definitely look at microdots and see some of these videos, like Hollywood put together guy, and the interview that he did with John O'Keefe's friend, dude. That one was great. He was talking about how he definitely did think John O'Keefe did it. And then he started learning some stuff. He starts going over the telltale signs of when he was watching the trial and Jennifer McCabe, and he starts talking about all these people. He really shed some light on it. Microdots is doing a fantastic job exposing the cover up of Karen Reed. Mr. James. But anyway, man, that's all I got right here. I got the honeydew lift and everything. But Britt, thanks for joining. Everyone, thanks for joining. Got any closing things on this post 4th of July?
Well, I'll be throwing a brisket in here probably tomorrow morning.
How was the smoke show?
I didn't get to hang out at the smoke show.
No.
Ron, were you there?
Oh, of course Ron was there.
What did y'all do? That was video or
I had to
audio?
take care of some other stuff.
Yeah, we did miss you, Steve. So yeah, my closing. Hey, everybody, don't forget to watch the Joe Lanoue Night Court with Joe Lanoue Night Crew. We do that 3 to 4 nights a week. We may actually have a Monday show coming up. Joe and I are working behind the scenes right now with the rest of the crew, prepping a show for maybe Monday. So keep that in mind. Every Wednesday is the smoke show where you can come in here, talk to us. We have our perspectives on how to smoke and barbecue meat and other things. We've got some stuff in the works for that I'm working on right now. I did some smoked cream cheese yesterday, which came out phenomenal. I got some pictures of that, and we're working on some smoked cheesecake that I'm going to be doing this weekend.
Yeah, it came in the after party, and that's what we were talking about.
Smoked cheesecake. Yeah, I've been talking to old Joe Lanou about that one, and I think I've got an idea how we're going to do it. We've got some new affiliates that have joined us on the smoke show. Scorchy Hot Sauce is one of our new affiliates that we've got.
Affiliate.
I don't know if affiliate's the right word, but definitely a new guy. He makes his own hot sauce. Really good guy. So we're working with him, and yeah, we've got the smoke show coming up every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. We do that for 2 hours. You come in, we talk about things that we've done, things that we haven't. Doing smoking brisket, ribs, burgers, hot dogs, steak, cheesecake.
I'm going to try smoking a Spam today too.
Spam, actually, I'll tell you what, Spam's not bad. And one of my favorite things to smoke, and some people may look at me as a poor for this. I like doing a corned beef brisket. I'll take a corned beef brisket and soak it in water overnight to help pull some of the salt out of it. Season it up, put it on the smoker. It's a bit of a quicker run, but you get that good flavor to it. And then you can slice it up, corned beef sandwiches with that nice, deep, smoky flavor to it. So, yeah. Come on in. We talk about some of our good smokes and some of our bad ones. We've all had them. We're all going to have more of them. So, yeah, feel free. Night Court with Joe Lanou and the night crew, and smoke show on Wednesdays.
Heck yeah, bro. James, got any parting shots?
Man, I can't believe Joe's trying to stay in it.
Yeah, it was pretty sad, man. I was a little torn up too myself. But you know, if you talk to any if you talk to Republicans that know what they're talking about when Joe became the president, friends of mine would say, "I'm glad Joe Biden is the president." You know why? And I was like, I have no idea what you're about to say. And I was like, why? He goes, because out of all the Democrats that could possibly be president, I like Joe Biden because he'll be the least effective. And I said, you know what? It's a great freaking point, dude. It's a great point. The least effective. But yeah, Joe Biden's in there, and I don't think Joe Biden is going to beat Trump. And whether he stays in or doesn't, who's going to fill his shoes? I mean, I don't know. Hillary. I mean, I don't know. I think Trump's going to be the president. They know it. That's why they're all complaining about this. The Supreme Court had that ruling that they're pretty much going to take these felony convictions away. Presidential immunity. They're so bent out of shape because they know that Trump is going to be the president, and he's going to use that to use SEAL Team 6 and assassinate people or some shit like that. So I think that's their narrative that they're pushing, but they know that they're running the long game here. They're on a dying horse, and it's pretty much over for the Joe Biden 2024, Kamala Harris 2024. It's over. But it's not over. It's November 5th is the election. I think we're going to see a lot of cool things between now and then. And the October surprise, we're going to see another debate in September. So it's just getting heated up, and we're happy to cover all of that. And I'd like to go back maybe sometime next week and cover some more of the Karen Reed murder trial. I'll put something in, maybe a little update of all the things that has happened since then. So, but thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining in for a show. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of Joe Biden as we walk away. Thanks, fellas.
Shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. This man is a criminal.
Now, please welcome the 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden.
What do you say to black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress. We're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule. I thought Hitler had some good ideas. We're trying to provide housing for black. And these people should be in jail. And they should be the ones who are being held accountable. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches. Hitler's done some good things dealing with the segregation. Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches were fine people. Come on. So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done.
And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name.
It happened. all you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous.
The fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now.
They were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those woods, carrying those torches.
What do you say to black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Good things that was done. The idea that I have to apologize to you for anything.
And there you go.